Hey, what's going on everyone? I am Torvalderuz and this is the Capsuleer event 2024. Originally, I had no plans to run this event because I didn't think it'd be worth it, especially because it was limited to T1 cruisers. But then I saw the rewards you can get from this event and what you're risking for it, and it is a 100% worth it. The fit I'm using costs about 50 million ISK. The sites take around 10 minutes to complete. They're not really hard at all, and you can get up to 200 million ISK per site. Now, getting up to 200 million ISK is a really lucky drop. That is not going to happen every time. On average, you're going to get about 35 million ISK per site. But if you get really lucky with the drops, you're looking at 200 million ISK for just one site. All right, here is the fit I am using. As you can see, it's really simple and cheap. Only 50 million ISK, and this thing has no issues whatsoever running tier 3 gamma sites. Now, while these sites are intended for 2 tier 1 cruisers, this single stabber will work, no issues whatsoever. I would definitely recommend jumping into a tier 1 or tier 2 just so you can figure out what you're getting into and not jumping into a tier 3 straight away and getting blown up. Overall, these sites are very similar to abyssal sites. However, there are some differences, such as the border teleports you, some of the clouds within the sites are different, and the spawn rates. But once you know what you're doing, it's really easy. The sites are not hard at all. Alright, to get in the sites, you do need filaments. There are extra steps to this entire event where you can get the materials to build filaments. I suggest just buying them from the market. What I did here was I bought a pile of T3 gamma filaments from the market, and then I also bought some blueprints and materials to build the filaments. As you run the sites, you can get blueprints and materials to build the blueprints. I bought some extras just so I have a nice stockpile to keep me going. After the initial investment of buying a bunch of filaments, materials, and blueprints, I was able to sustain myself from running the sites themselves. Honestly, you can just start out with buying 5 or 10 tier 3 gammas and kind of seeing how it works for yourself. Alright, before you get into the sites, you want to do this event track right here. I'm not a big fan of how CSP did this. I like these event tracks. However, CSP did this one weird, and you have to do this little market trick to be able to progress in the event. So in between each combat site, you have to list a material on the market and buy it from yourself to be able to progress through the event. It's really weird and annoying, but some of the skins from this track are really cool, and you'll definitely want to grab these. So make sure you're checking the event, accepting the rewards and all that, because it does not automatically happen. So yeah, just make sure you're constantly checking this page right here to make sure you are progressing through this event. All right, now to the actual site itself. So these operate very similar to abyssal sites. You go out in the space, you activate the filament, and it teleports you into the event. Now, unlike the Abyss, this is just one room. You do not have to go through extra rooms after that, and you have 30 minutes to complete it. I think on average, I'm sitting at about 10 minutes per site, so time should not be an issue whatsoever. Your number one priority when you get in here is taking out these towers. Whether it's these towers or the alternate, if you get a different set of NPCs, you need to take these out immediately. So what I recommend, you're going to start flying towards the nearest towers, targeting them using your drones. Once you get in range, take them out. Now, a cool thing is the abyssal border here does not actually damage you. It teleports you to the other side. This enables you to do a nice little trick where once you burn towards one set of towers and take them out, you can fly through the border, be teleported to the other side, and be right on top of the next set of towers to be able to take them out as well. I thought I was being trolled when someone told me to fly through the border to teleport to the other side, but it is actually a tactic you can use to get yourself to the other towers and destroy them and move on. Now, the loot in these sites come from two things. One is the battleship. Once you destroy that, there is a wreck left behind that'll have about 35 million ISK in loot potentially. The other loot is this Edencom scout box. These do not always appear. There is a chance of them appearing. Sometimes you get one, sometimes you get two, sometimes you get none, but this is where your money is at. This box right here is where you have the potential to getting up to 200 million ISK in one site. Now, as you can see here, this is a really bad example because the loot from this one was absolutely terrible and not really worth much, but I have gotten Genolution core augmentations, I've gotten boosters out of this thing. Like I've said, I have gotten up to 200 million ISK out of these boxes right here. They don't always appear and they don't always have good loot in them, but when you have those chances of really good loot, you definitely want to grab those. From this point on, you're really just burning down all the NPCs, focusing on taking down that battleship. Once the battleship is destroyed, that is your source of loot right there and your free exit out of the gate. The extras, you can take them out if you want. There is a certain variation of the NPCs that do neutralize, so it'd be a good idea to take those out if you do get that spawn. But overall, you're just burning down the battleship and moving on to the next one. Now, the battleship is what's going to be dropping the red loot, which you can sell just like Triglavian red loot. It's also going to be dropping the materials used to build additional filaments. Like I said, this loot is going to average around 35 million ISK, and make sure you're claiming the reward on the top where it damage dealt to battleship, whatever that reward is. Constantly click that to make sure you're progressing. But that's it. Once the battleship is destroyed, you can take the gate. You don't have to worry about destroying the extra NPCs, and you are free to move on to the next one. Here is all the different loot I've got from running these. I don't know how many sites I've ran, but all of this loot right here is from running T3 Gamma sites. The site I ran in this video that I used to record, obviously the loot wasn't that good, but you can see these different boosters, implants, and materials that I'm getting. It all adds up, and it is definitely worth the time to run. I am actually taking a break from running high tier abyssals to do this and only this, because it is really nice to only be running a 50 million ISK ship and be getting this amount of loot. It's very relaxed. As you can see, the sites were not that challenging whatsoever. You're not risking a whole lot. You're getting potentially a lot of ISKs. So I definitely recommend running this event as much as possible between now and the end of May. Also, make sure you are paying attention to the dates on these boosters and the date of the event. This event will expire and all these materials and boosters will become obsolete, which will make them useless. So don't hold on for them for too long. Make sure you throw them on the market so you can get your income before they expire. That is it though. That is the Capsuleer event 2024. Like I said, I highly recommend you run this event while you can. This event is only running until May 30th, so get you a ship, get you a bunch of filaments, and get in these event sites. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section below, or hop into the Abyssal Lurkers Discord and ask your questions in the EVE Events channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in space.